for any actual records of anything tangible to say that we indeed, in fact, did go on the ships.
Yes, everybody heard the question? Okay, now, in England, I think it may be along the Thames, I'm not sure. They sank a lot of slave ships. Different museums have come to ask them to let them raise them and put them in their museum. They will not do it. But the ships are down there. And they're not going to rot away because they're made of the kind of wood that can withstand the weather. Okay? Now, to answer that question, you are going through in your lifetime, a psychological warfare. That is to take away from you the history and things that have been done to you to make you feel very comfortable. Make you feel comfortable. Now, that's why a lot of the brothers and sisters feel very comfortable. Because what you got? I got a house, I got a car, I got insurance, I got this, I can eat, my children go to school, they're well off. All because that's a rouge. That's not even real. But they have it, but you don't have it. If that be the case, if you're so comfortable, how come the guy next door is not as comfortable as you? You know, because what it is, that's psychological warfare. They're warring and making it so we don't like each other. Now, the part of it where you want to know the tangible evidence, look at your brother next door. Look at him. Do you think he was living like that in the beginning? He's been all the time, through 400 years, he's been stooped down. He's been beaten. Every time they got something, they took it. I know you guys heard about the Tulsa riots. I just happen to have an uncle, Uncle Jimmy. He lived during that time. And when I was in Oklahoma, I was talking to him about it. And he was saying that the reason that the white folk came over and did what they did, they had to have something. Because one thing, the Indians had discovered oil on their land. And they were running the oil, but hiring black folks to do it and paying you very well. And they had the banks and stuff over there, and you had banks and everything. And on the other side of the tracks, white folks were poor. See? And they wouldn't let them work as much as they did the black people. So the black people became very prosperous. White folks looking across the tracks, seeing what they had. They said, they ain't got no business having that. We ain't got it. I mean, how come I'm living in a hovel? And how come he can live in a house like that? Because in his mind, you're not supposed to have anything more than him. That's psychological warfare that he's been under. White and black people go through the same thing. Black people have been under such stress. Let me use this. You have people working in the field. The overseer sees a fine-looking black girl working in the field. That's somebody's wife. He don't care about it. So what he does, he picks her out. He doesn't touch her right then all the time. He comes by at night when everything is finished. When he comes by at night, he don't knock on the door, he kicks the door open. You got your wife in there, the children are sleeping on, not a cot, they sleep on the floor of sacks with corn shucks in it. And that was their mattress. Then they had you in the bed with your wife. And he comes in. He said, all right, nigga, get out the bed. Come on, I'll show you how a man operates. Now, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? He has his son with him. His son has a gun. He grabs you, slings you out of the bed. He said, get over there by the door. I'm gonna show you how a man operates. He's taking his pants down. You're getting angry. What can you do? His wife is right there. She has to be submissive because other than that, she can die. So my question is, brothers, the question is, what would you do? Now that's a question. What would you do? I know it'll take you another year to figure that one out, but let me tell you this. He gets in the bed on top of this man's wife. This man is sitting by the door, turning red, black, green, and orange because he's a man. And he ain't tolerating that. I'm gonna protect my family. He's sitting there. He's so angry that before he knows it, he's on this white man's back and he squeezes his neck so hard, his fingers almost touch in the center. He breaks his neck, blood's come out of his eyes and mouth. The man's son runs over and jumps on his back and starts, "Get off my father." And what happens is he takes his arm and hits that young boy like that. That young boy flies across the room, and on the corner of the iron stove, he hits his back like that. When he hits his back, he's paralyzed from the waist down now. Okay? Now, his wife gets up and says, you can't stay here now. You got to get out of here. You can't stay here. But what they will do with him is tie him to a tree. They will burn him alive in front of everybody. That is a punishment for hitting a white man or even touching him. Can you see? Now what you going to do? You see? Now, you want to die? Now, first, one guy said, well, I'll die. I said, remember, who's going to take care of your family? You got 3 girls. Who's going to take care of your family? You're not there. You got your wife there. It's hard to look at her, but the first thing you say, "Come on, baby, why you let him do that to you?" And she going to say to you, "You were there. Why did you do something?" Now, you see the psychology in that? Now, she finds out that she can't protect you. You can't protect her. You see? See how easy that is? You can't protect her. So now, as she gets older and she begins to teach her girls what? A nigga ain't shit. That's the first thing she says, because you can't protect me. I take care of myself. Okay? Now, again, the psychology is what? In this world today, women are highly educated. Black women are highly educated. But when black women got the cars and the house and stuff like that, now she's looking for you in the street. She's looking for you to come over to the house and do to her what she wants. Now you the gigolo, and she's in charge, but she got the money. That's part of a plan. That's a psychological move. But people don't see it. Women don't see it. All they know is they're doing well. What's happening to you? You see? It's all psychology. People have to wake up and find out that this is not a joke. You are extinct. They don't need you. They don't need black power anymore. They don't need you. We got what? We got Mexicans coming in. They doing a job that you would not do. They doing everything. What do they need with black folks? You see? That's the situation you're in today. Yes, sir.
You just said that about that they doing the jobs that we won't do. Is that what they be talking about when you hear these politicians say about Northern Kingdom, or the so-called Mexicans? They're doing the jobs that we wouldn't do. They talking about us when they say that?
Certainly talking about you. Who else they gonna talk about? Who was doing the menial jobs in the beginning? You, and you weren't getting paid for it. You were the ones that went behind the bars in hotels. In hotels they didn't have bathrooms. They had chamber pots. So whatever was done in that chamber pot, they had a wall that went around the back of the hotel. They would sit that there, and you'd open that door, you'd wash all that stuff out, bring the chamber pot back and sit it in there. That's what the hotels in the days of old. They didn't have flushing toilets. They had you doing things that they won't do. You see? Now they have another nationality that's coming in that will do less than you. Now instead of paying you, we can bargain with the Mexicans. They need. See? So that's why they're coming. They're gonna win that too, I think. Yes, sir.
These shackles. I was wondering if you could explain more about Amistad and how they will maneuver taking over the ships when the white man would have them on the ship, have us on the ships, and they would take over the ship. You can explain more on that. You know anything on that?
Yes, I can do it. Did everybody hear what he asked? He was asking to explain why they on board the ships where we were held captive, how we got off those ships. Is that right? How we took them over? You have to realize that that was a fluke, and the history of it is true. And one guy, and his name is, they call him Sinkay. His name is spelled another way. It's not Sinkay, but that's what it is. He found a piece of a screw that was left on the ship, and he used that to unlock it little by little. What he did was he worked it and got those shackles off of him. After a while, he was able to loose all of his friends. And the reason they could take the ship over so quickly is because it was a ship that only had about 5 or 6 people on it, because they were so sure that they had y'all in chains. But most slave ships were not like that. Most slave ships had 22 to 23 white men guarding you. There was only 5 people on that ship. 5 people on a ship, and you got 150 to 200 black men on there that are warriors. They ain't no punks. Mother Africa didn't raise no punks. You were warriors. They came out of battle, and you were bought as soldiers, see? So you didn't go along peacefully. All that stuff, well, they hung their heads. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They walked straight up because they were not afraid. So, and that's how he did that. And I think we could have done more, but you have to realize it takes planning. It takes planning to do stuff like that. You can do a lot of things, but remember, you're in chains. Some ships had the people just packed up down the bottom, and they could walk around like they wanted to in close quarters. They had tubs set there where you went to the bathroom in. A lot of little children were down and would lean over and fall into that thing, see, and die in that stuff. So all things were not as beautiful as we think. And one thing about you couldn't get up to the top of the ship. It was a great. We could look down on you, but you couldn't come up unless we let you up. And we let you up when we wanted to. When we found a lot of people dying, we let you up to walk around and dance. We took a whip and they beat you, made you dance, so you would not have atrophy and a bunch of other stuff when you were dying. See, so a lot of times there were a lot of ships that had mutinies and a lot of black people died. Some ships sank. They don't. All the history of it, they will not tell you. So they will keep it like we always won. White man was always ahead. He always won. That's how it is. If you look at every story on television, the white guy's going to win. White guy saved the day. See? And that's how it's in the minds of the people. That white guys are superior. The white race is superior and you are inferior. You can never beat him. And I remember when I was going to the movie back in the 1950s, 40s and 50s, the black guy that was in the movie by accident, he got killed. He got killed first. I don't care what he did. I don't care if he stumbled and fell off a building that was only a foot high. He had to die in that movie because to show you that you're not going to win against white people. That's the psychology of it. When he got off, if you get back to what we were talking about, when he was able to get off of that ship was because he had time to do it. And the ship was sparsely populated. When that happened, that stuff jumped up again. They started paying more attention to the enslaved Africans on board their ship. They didn't allow you to do a lot of things because they were definitely going to put you in jail, definitely kill you. You were easy to kill. See, so that's what that was all about. Okay? And you could, and I've always said this, if I got a bunch of black guys, and the one thing about it is black guys don't listen to each other. Everybody got an idea. Is that right? See, I remember in Vietnam, when the guys were over there, I remember the First World War, when the black guy was in charge of it, he had a white guy in charge of that whole battalion of black guys, and he was a Southerner because they said the Southern guys can handle black people. That's what it was during the Second World War. See, you got no credit for nothing. When in the First World War, I'm skipping all over the place. In the First World War, France needed help. They were crying out for help. Woodrow Wilson would not send them help. They decided to send them some help. We're going to send them some help. What they did, they got the black soldiers and sent them to France with a little bit of training. Sent them over and told France, I want you to put them as laborers. They ain't gonna do no fight because they don't know how to fight. Just keep them as laborers. And that's what France was doing until they realized they were losing. Germany was all over the place. So what they did was they began to train the troops. They found out that those black guys were more astute to handling rifles and fighting than their own people. When they fought, these black guys were all over the place. Sergeant York, I think you all saw the movie of Sergeant York. What he did, stuff like that, that was fine. There was a black guy that fought off the Germans on his position with just a knife. The Germans called him a Hellcat, and that's where the Harlem Hellcats name came from. The Harlem Hellcats were a bunch of black guys that would not give up their position, and a lot of the guys were hurt or killed, but it's one guy, and it's in the history books. He fought them all, they backed off. They gave him a little bit of credit, but Sergeant York got a lot of credit. When the war ended, which was not, they just stopped fighting, they got tired of fighting, I guess. They began to give out medals for doing a good job. 25 or 30 of the black guys got the coup de grace, which was a Medal of Honor. The Medal of Honor, okay? Pershing, General Pershing came up and told them when they were doing it, don't give them that medal. Because when they get back to America, they just niggas. That's what General Pershing said. You have to realize what went on. France decided to give it to them anyhow. They fought, they get it, they gave it to them. Pershing was pissed, okay? You could not march in certain marches when they came going through certain towns and the soldiers march in. You could march. They wouldn't let you during the Civil War. They wouldn't let you march through Richmond. See, they wouldn't let you march because they didn't want nobody to see the strength of black people. You have to see it. Because once you get together, you got strength. If you stop arguing with each other. I'm looking at the conclude. I think they want us on the inside. What I'd like to do is see how this thing's going to play out with this Democratic thing, Republican thing. And they got all these guys that want to be president. Instead of them getting together and working it out down to where they got that one person to put up and then do it, and they all going to be fighting. That's why Trump's laughing. He said, you ain't together, I got this. See? Yes. I'm on a roll. Okay. All right, you guys, that's it.
All praise.